welcome back, everybody, to Totally Not the Second Chance of recording this episode 56 of the Download Queue. We have a great episode in store for you today. We got reviews, we got previews, we got more, oh my. But before we get into that, Kyle, welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining on this wonderful, wonderful Monday.
Yeah, we tried to do it early, and we did it late. So we're pretty good at this. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Super Bowl, health stuff, all good, all safe, all healthy as best you can be. But yeah, we're here Monday, which, hey, I'm okay being here on a Monday because what was yesterday? One of the best things ever. The Chiefs not just losing, but they weren't even there. I love watching the Eagles just play football against themselves. It was such a great day. Can't complain. Chiefs lost big. How are you doing?
It was good. It was girlfriend going for the Chiefs because Swiftie, whatever. She's in that group. We don't talk about it.
No matter what, Taylor Swift still wins.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we were at like local place used to work. Everybody in there, not a single person, was going for the Chiefs to win. It was like a hate mob building up inside this restaurant the whole time. And halfway through, I was like, like we wanted them to lose, but like at least do something. You just like practice squad against them now.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Mahomes couldn't do anything. It was great. And this is coming from a Raider fan who, honestly, the Chiefs' last biggest loss was against the Raiders a year ago on Christmas Day. It's just one of those things. I'm tired of Mahomes. He's really good. He's a generational player. He's going to go down in history books like Brady has. But, we play him twice a year. I don't play. I watch the game. The Raiders play him twice, so I get it. And to see him look like that was amazing. He'll be back. Don't worry.
Well, we know with the logos the way they are next year, Detroit's in the Super Bowl. It's been written. It's been predicted. We're there.
Wasn't it wrong this year though too?
No, it was red and green.
Fair enough.
They switched it though. Yesterday, during the show, when they announced the new logo, they changed the colors on it. Now it's like a bright rainbow color burst, and we can go off of that. But it's different than what they had initially. That was like blue and grays.
They're like, oh man, people are catching on to this. Yeah. Overall, boring game, but fun game if you don't like the Chiefs. Great Super Bowl halftime performance, I thought. Loved it. So many layers to it. It's being able to dissect something after it happens is such a awesome thing. And when it's a Super Bowl performance, a halftime performance, and you get to dissect, going on threads, any social media, just seeing people point out things, it's such a fun time.
Yeah, it just keeps going. At the end of last night, I was like, I've seen everything I needed to, and then I wake up and it's whole multi-video deep dives,
references on references. I'm like, he's just meaning 12 things with his one line? What? Yeah, I want to go back and explore his catalog because I know I like lyrics, I like words, so since he's a lyricist, right? He's a poet, so I gotta go check out more of his albums and such, but can't complain about yesterday.
It was good. Nice cap off to the year. We're having a much better time than some people were this past week. Because much like we were on Saturday, PlayStation was shut down for a solid 24 hours.
That's good.
You're gaming over there. And kind of a weird turn of events. We don't know what happened. PSN was down for roughly a day. But there's been a lot of conversation coming up about it now as we go more and more in towards the digital direction, stuff being that easily shut down, people's libraries being that easily inaccessible. PlayStation did give out, if you are a current PSN subscriber, you get 5 free days added onto your payment thing, whatever. If you're not a PSN member, tough shit, you don't get nothing. Which I'm honestly even surprised by. In my eyes, I didn't think a day would be enough to warrant giving anything. These things happen. But they listened to the fans. It was kind of weird, because I don't remember, honestly, the last time something Xbox, I think, was down last year, I think, for half a day or something. But as far as like whole shutdowns like this, I don't remember besides like Christmas, like 7, 8 years ago, when people were doing it intentionally to be douchebags.
Yeah, usually holidays you get a DDoS attack for someone, but yeah, historically, like I don't recall too many instances of Xbox not turning into the console thing, but Xbox having many things where it's multiple or like a whole day. It just hasn't affected me on that platform. And yeah, I didn't play on PlayStation during the 2011 one. That was multiple days. I vaguely remember that. Like I just don't know. So yeah, comment on that stuff. Who knows? I don't know. But it is interesting that like single player games and all those things were completely locked out. You couldn't play that just because you might not have set up the console beforehand to be playable offline or whatnot. It's just I hope companies where this starts conversation on making sure no matter what, single player games can be played offline. I get if it's digital, you gotta check the code at some point because otherwise I buy a console, I download the game I already bought onto that console, I give that console to my friend, there we go, right? Friend buys a console, I sign in, download games, they keep it offline, then they get you could start seeing how you gotta log in at some point for these digital games, but it's not a good thing when your service goes down, you don't communicate at all, and no one can like play the platform. That's not good. So I don't know where to go from here. I don't know what solutions there are, but I do hope PlayStation can be a little more transparent and let us know to an extent what happened. Obviously, they can't go too far, but more like mitigation. How can I still play my offline games if this happens again?
Well, it's offline games too, and it goes as far. Which it's a different case for Xbox now, showing how many studios they have. But like, hypothetically, if this was another month-long outage like 2011, with PSN being or PlayStation, I mean, being that far ahead as far as unit sales and their player base goes, like that started affecting third parties essentially. Like your Epics with Fortnite gets closed, Duty's losing revenue. Like that affects more people than just your immediate player base, and it kind of shows an Achilles heel in the way things are going. But with Xbox being more software based, like they have stronger walls against this. They tackle things like this more often. Where Sony is the hardware side of things and are more susceptible to hacks or downage times or outages. Which I think they did come out and say like no one's information's been compromised or whatever. So it didn't go as far as that, but still, for it to happen within a day, millions of eyes on this, like people are going to be looking now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Interesting though. I don't got much else to say about that.
No, it's back. Like I said, it was a day. It was whatever we were recording Saturday, Friday through Saturday, halfway, but they're back. Just in time, too, because there's rumors that a state of play is happening this week. Which, curious to see what comes of that, especially with their recent studio mess ups and people kind of resetting what they're doing, what kind of third party deals they have showcased. Still no actual official announcement of it, but the rumors are swirling.
Yeah, I think there's rumors for this Thursday, so we'll see. Announcement tomorrow, Tuesday, as we're recording, or the next thing makes sense. Yeah, they can show something, right? We'll see.
But it's probably the biggest news story the past week.
Yeah, and it's done now.
It's done now. There's nothing else today. It's Monday. No one's doing stuff on Monday. But I'm excited because we both got some games to talk about this week. Some special stuff. You're in a preview. I'm doing a little review. Where would you like to start, sir?
I know you were talking for a little bit, and I don't have a ton to say yet because I haven't played too much of it. It's in early access. But what am I talking about? I'm talking about Hyper Light Breaker. Got a code over through Keymailer, so shout out to the studio working through that. Thank you for that code for early access. Yeah, it's version 0.5, so I still think they have a ways to go. This is the first Hyperlight game I played. They have Hyperlight Drifter. I have not. Honestly, I haven't even looked at it. Once I saw that I got this code, I was like, cool, I'm just going to play this and then maybe I'll go back and explore it. But Hyperlight Breaker is a procedurally generated world, rogue light. The combat reminds me a lot of Dungeons of Hinterberg slash Zelda. You know, it's a but with guns, of course. It's pretty straightforward, basic so far. I think the biggest thing, the difference I'm thinking is between the games is the multiplayer. Of course, I have not explored that at all. Just I've done a couple runs in the game to kind of get my feet wet and understand what's going on. It feels definitely early access. And that's not a bad thing. It's not optimized great on my PC. I'm going from surprisingly 100 frames on this game all the way to like 40, 30 at times, and I can hear the fans on my PC just start revving up. In random moments, like I just turn the camera, so it might be my PC, but it could also be an early access thing. But I'm enjoying the game. You drop in, you get this map in this open world, so it's taking a rogue light and making it an open world game. But what's unique about that is it is procedurally generated. So far, your character, you get 4 respawns, 4 revives, and then it resets the whole world, so you get a whole new map, which I think mixes it up and helps with that. The weapons are cool. I think they're still trying to figure out the balance and such. Like it felt really tough at first. Like the game was hard. I don't know if it's scaled all for multiplayer or if it scales if you have one and then it scales up health bars and whatnot. Or maybe I just don't understand the game, but still very early on. But there's something about the loop that I've discovered. I've done 6 runs total, I think. Yeah. And the loop is kind of what grabbed me. The first couple runs, I was like, all right, we'll see where this goes, but I think I kind of get it. But I think the combat clicked for me enough where I started being able to parry. I figured out that timing, and then kind of figuring out how the gun works and when to use your gun. So you get a sword and a gun, and the gun ammo is battery, so eventually you run out of energy there. I was relying on that too much at first, but once I figured it out, the loop is what grabbed me, so I'm excited to keep playing it. That's kind of the extent of what I have to say. I haven't done the bosses in the area yet. I died before I got there, so still trying to progress farther into the game, but still learning. But so far, I'm intrigued by what they're doing here. Excited to keep following it, of course, as it's still in early access.
So yeah, when you say loop for this, like, is it set up where there's like definitive end game you can reach, or is it just go literally as much as you can, get whatever resources that you can to die, to go back, to upgrade, to go back in? Or is there an actual kind of like Returnal where you're going through and completing zones?
I think so. There's 3 bosses in each zone, which I think I haven't got that far. I have yet to even beat one boss. You collect these things called prisms in the area by defeating some higher tier enemies or just by finding them. They're usually guarded. Once you have enough, then you could take on one of the area bosses in that map. So there's 3 distinct areas in each map that is generated, each one having a boss there. So once you get enough of the prisms, which are the yellow thing if you're watching on stream, the top left mini map has that icon there. That's what you're collecting. Once you have enough of those, you can go fight the boss. So yeah, and I think there's one world boss at the end, because when you load in, you get 3 bosses, and then there's a 4th one. So I think once you get all 3 in the world, you then would get the 4th one. I have not got that far yet, though.
Cool. Yeah, I have saw very little on this until you said that you were playing it, and I checked it out a little bit. It's I noticed that it's been more of a thing with games doing this and doing the multiplayer aspect of it. Another one, Elden Ring Night Ring, doing kind of similar thing. Like, it's taking roguelikes from a single player experience where you're personally doing your stuff and giving it the multiplayer aspect. which I'm sure, yeah, balancing that and trying to get that narrowed down is a whole other ball game, especially coming from the Hyperlight team, which everything they've done so far has been single player. I think Hyperlight Drifter was a top down experience, even so going full third person on that. It looks cool. I like the art style of it. Like you said, it's even the combat art style looks very Dungeons of Hinterbergy, that minimalist kind of bright colors slopping everywhere.
Yeah, cell shaded, like almost. I think that's the right word. But yeah, excited to see where it goes. I've only really played like Hades and Hades 2 in early access, like committed to now Manor Lords, but I'm excited to see how this one progresses. This one feels early on and not for lack of polish, but just like they're still doing stuff to it, right? So yeah, I'm excited to follow this game along and see how it evolves over the next couple months to year. I don't know when they plan on releasing this.
This is their first open sort of beta for it, right? I believe. As far as like actually getting wider audience in.
Yeah, I think it's early access. So like you just buy it on Steam and you get in.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely curious in it. Again with this year, I don't know if I'll actually put time into it, but it definitely has my interest. Like I said, I pull up the kind of funny thing when they did theirs afterwards to look at it. It looks cool. So hopefully it does well. Hopefully they find a new sort of niche to tackle.
Yeah, I gotta hop into the multiplayer side of it. That's obviously the biggest question mark, just because the state of the industry with multiplayer titles. So we'll see. That's my biggest question mark for Hyper Light Breaker, but I haven't tried it, so can't say much about it.
Is it a? Do you say it would say it's more primarily like gun based? Is it? Do you have your melee sword still, or is it just kind of a mixture of the two? Whatever you want to go with.
You get both, yeah. So you get a gun that has a battery that acts as ammo, and then you have a sword. And then there's a bunch of weapons you find or you can buy and such. So you can get like heavy weapons, dual blades. There's a shotgun, a rifle, a particle beam rifle, essentially, long range, short range. So for both gun and swords. So there's a lot of stuff there where I could see how you can start building out a specific type of build, and then when you pair that with other people, I could see how they can start working together. But again, I'm still too early to know fully.
Cool. Be hearing more on that hopefully as the year goes on. Release date gets closer. Whatever it be. If that's all you got on that, I have been working on a review for Rift of the Necrodancer. So shout out to them and the team over at Brace Yourself Games for sending a code over. Just pulling stuff up here. This is the third game actually in the Necrodancer series. For those unaware, the first two are sort of top-down Legend of Zelda games, full dungeon crawling, but it's rhythm based, where you move on beat, enemy moves on the beat, your attacks go on beat. You're incentivized to stay on beat for more damage, to do your moves. If not, stuff can fail, whatever. Super interesting concept. I became aware of this because it became a big thing in the achievement community. It is notoriously hard, very, very difficult to complete. One of the lowest completion percentages for trophies and achievements. They have stuff where you need to do like 9 runs, however many characters in the game, without getting hit once. Some people only have 1 heart of health, and doing that on beat on high difficulties gets to be a lot. So, gained some notoriety from that. First game got big enough where they were able to do Cadence of Hyrule, which is the second game. Nintendo saw their original idea and were like, hey, you're making a Legend of Zelda type thing. Let's just throw Legend of Zelda in that and make it again. So, same idea in the Legend of Zelda universe with Legend of Zelda music. And now they came out with Rift of the Necrodancer, which is fully just Guitar Hero rock band like thing in the universe. Very colorful game. It keeps the difficulty going from those first two. It is I was having to restart songs on medium and at a couple points had to drop stuff down to easy just to stay up. But a lot of that's due to kind of how much they're throwing at you. Um, this is only a 3 button thing, so your left, up, right arrow keys are the only buttons you really use instead of a normal 5 button layout like in Guitar Hero. But the way they handle notes, they treat it almost like a combat scenario. So as you're playing, there will be actual enemies like coming down the track at you that each have their own separate um abilities, their own separate sort of ways they interact with each other. So on stream, the slimes, green slimes, are just a one single hit type thing. They upgrade to a blue one where they take two when they bounce back one spot, gotta hit them again. There's bats that'll actually jump from one track to another after you beat them. So you can come down the middle track on the up arrow key, jump to the left, jump back to the up. It becomes like a bullet hell type experience trying to keep up with things, which sounds cool. It's definitely a different take on it, but the way they kind of present it to the players a lot. When you first start the game, the tutorial will throw you every single enemy that you will come across all at once, and you're kind of stuck forced to remember everything as you go through instead of kind of gradually, hey, here are the bets. Here are the Valkyries that skip a square every time they move. Here are the knights that'll stop randomly and jump to the end at one go. Like it the way they present the challenges to you, I think, could be redone a little bit. Um We like the concept though. It's I wouldn't say it's a direct follow up to the older games. It's obviously nothing you need to play the older ones for to understand. It is in the same universe shortly after the first one, where everyone in your fantasy realm have been dropped into a real world version. It's somewhere town America. No specifics are given, but they're dropped into the real world. The main boss of the last game got beat so bad he's working at a burger stand, flipping burgers and making fries. Put the fries in the bag, bro, and just trying to find your way back to your original home. Um, yeah, it's right now. I did throw credits on it yesterday. After roughly 4 hours so far of playtime, there's a story mode that's 5 chapters. Um, 33 songs in the game base, done by a myriad of people. They got a bunch of other people who have done work on other indie games to come back. People who did soundtracks for the original games to come back. And the game also offers, which I think is really cool, Steam Workshop integration, which is something I don't really know a lot about, not being a Steam player. But anyone can go in, make your own tracks, make your own songs, and put them up for download for free. Which I think it's already at like 350 plus songs. So that's real cool to see a thriving community for this, trying to do something for it. Um, all the songs are free download. You don't have to pay for any of them. So it's whatever you want to create and throw up there. The only downside to that is being done by the community. Say you make a song and you only want to put time into making a hard or impossible version of the track for that song. That's the only one people can download, so it doesn't sort of automatically generate an easy version of it, a medium version of it. So it's kind of scrolling through what you want to find. Um, Someone made the SpongeBob SquarePants Krabby Patty formula recipe video training video where he's like did that in his impossible version. Holy shit! I have never been more flustered in my life trying to get through something. Did not happen. But yeah, it is available now. It was out on the 5th of February. Um, I should have pulled up the pricing here. I think it's like $15-$20 for initial cost. As of now, they're not doing anything as far as DLC later on, mostly because they have that uh, community aspect of it going through. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did later introduce new characters to use, whatever it be. So, super fun time, challenging experience. I can definitely see it getting that same notoriety as far as challenging goes. I was looking through the Steam trophies. They do have similar things where it's like, you need to get perfect scores on every single song in the game on the impossible difficulty. And immediately I'm like, absolutely not. I have no interest in doing this. So I'll be curious to see how it does. Reviews so far have been pretty okay for what it is. Again, it's a rhythm Guitar Hero game, which I think doing this now after Fortnite kind of brought it back and introducing that idea again with controller or just keyboard support kind of helps. And the timing for it's really good coming off of that, but solid
Yeah,
time.
it's cool. Yeah, I looked it up. It's 10% off right now. It's normally 20, but it's $18 right now on Steam at least. So you were right in there with the price. Uh, yeah, it's cool that it's not a game or studio. I didn't realize that they were tied to Cadence of Hyrule. It makes sense. I like that a studio. It's cool seeing a studio have an idea, but then have three different, similar but different takes on it. Right? They're all rhythm-based games, but each one is something different so far, and that's really cool. Like obviously, Cadence of Hyrule is like an IP there, right? They wanted a Zelda thing there. I don't know what the gameplay is, but going from the first Necromancer to this one, like they are very different, and that's cool. They still have a style though that is cohesive and a through line between all three other titles, and that's cool. So I'm happy that you enjoyed your time with it, and I like that there is the Steam Workshop is really cool. Are the songs like I can upload Chaperone, I can get Kendrick up there and then make a song off of it and do the notes, or what does that look like?
So that I haven't seen. I outside of legal reasons, I don't see why not. Like
Yeah.
I said, the SpongeBob thing is the actual like audio track of the guy making that sound. Um, the Megalovania song from Undertale is in there already. Obviously, someone did the theme song for Plants vs Zombies is in there. So like, there's actual licensed tracks from other games. Um, I don't know how the legal side of Steam works to actually do full songs. I guess I haven't seen any. It's all been kind of fan games or other indie games or just personal creations so far.
Yeah, that's fair. It's kind of like Clone Hero. It sounds like where you're good until they come and get you, and you can't sell it, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's cool. That's how a game like that can get legs and have something more than just a one-time thing. So gotta love it.
Yeah. I said it's good. There's a couple things like I said with the way they introduce stuff to you could be definitely fixed because at the end, like I took a day break in between and I literally had to pull up the wiki and kind of look up enemies like, oh, the red harpy skips 2 squares and dives right at the lane, where the green one will like wait a bit, then go, wait a bit, then go. And I had to like look at what enemies were doing because I was just getting beat on.
Yeah.
And even on medium, I guess there's 2 songs in the middle that I had to drop to easy, went back up to medium for the rest, and then the last chapter with like the final boss felt like I was playing on easy anyways. Like the difficulty scaling, kind of how they have songs placed, I feel could be worked, especially with the boss fights. Some of the easiest things in the game, which you would expect to be more difficult, but
Huh.
I was able to jump up and do a couple boss fights on hard without really trying, where I couldn't do a normal song on hard. So I think the boss fights they have in are either looked at differently as when they designed them, or they weren't expecting them to be looked at as traditional boss fight and more of a breakup in gameplay. Because instead of the track based movements, it is just kind of a call and response where it'll be like, hit these 3 purple notes that are dodges, then it gives you a couple arrows that are yellow color that will do damage. So it kind of changes how you're playing. So it feels more of kind of a break from the normal sort of gameplay routine than anything.
Gotcha. That's interesting. Yeah, that seems like it sounds like a choice as opposed to something that just kind of happened by happenstance. Like they wanted to do something different with the boss fight, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Bummer that like it's easier, but I guess yeah, if they're not throwing a shit ton of those enemy types and you can't track and figure out which one is which, that could happen.
Yeah. But like you said, it's I like that they've stuck with it's the same character you're playing as Cadence from the first 2 games still. It's all the same friends that she has in the first game, other people you can play as, enemies, bosses, like they keep that same core idea, but have now branched out to other IP or not IP, but gameplay styles, which I feel not a lot of games really do. Like if they want to branch out to something new, they either make a whole new world, whole new character base, not a lot of people are really sticking with their original character and branching out as much. The only other one I could think of really is like Shovel Knight. But even then, all the DLCs they've done for Shovel Knight have kind of been the same old school 2D platformers, just different gameplay mechanics. So
Horizon games, they just did the Lego one, so it's starting, right? It's starting, but yeah, I would love, yeah, to have fun with your IP. Give us a freaking Helldivers Halo game you already should have had made, right? Like, you can go in different genres.
Mario Party Helldivers.
Oh my I don't even know. Like, when do the mini games come up? Well, that's what I'm trying to think about. Or is it just Mario Party and all of a sudden? No, is it Bowser? No, it's an alien horde. You know, they're coming out of the ground.
You got to do mini games to come back to life. The other thing, last thing on Rift fast, I forgot. If you do play and like the songs, which I have done, the entire soundtrack is already on Spotify. So I have added a couple songs into my playlist, my daily playlist, because there have been a few that are bops, and I fully appreciate what they're doing. It's a nice mix of, there's everything from like blues in there to like Metalocalypse death metal to just old school techno beats. Like, it's a wider range of stuff that's available. So
that's a great thing. That was a question I had without knowing it. Is the genres, like, is it just one? But that makes sense, and that's cool that it kind of, they do different things.
Yeah, so gotta check out. Again, huge thank you to Brace Yourself Games for sending a code over. I forgot I even applied for this months ago, and I saw the email a day late, and I was like, oh shit.
Hey, but that's nice. That's awesome.
But besides that, I haven't played a whole lot much. I'm almost done with my Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster playthrough finally. Jumped back into that. Still working on that. What a way to do a remake, Kyle. Every little issue I've had with the original game from 2006, 2007, completely fixed. Quality of life stuff made it so much easier. Playing through now, and it could just be I play through this game like once a year anyways.
Definitely part.
But I have so much free time now. Like, I'm not worrying about the clock. I almost did a complete perfect playthrough my first run through. I only lost 2 people on accident because I was dumb. But just it feels more welcoming, and I hope that enough people jumped into this when it came out last year that they're kind of looking at doing a remake for 2. That'd be cool to see. I know Capcom's kind of talking about looking at other IPs again finally, so bring back Dead Rising, please.
That'd be interesting.
It's been too long.
For some.
You been playing anything else? Just doing the huge over there?
Yeah, well, this week a new Destiny season dropped, and last week I talked about, or I guess technically it's last week it dropped. Time is weird now. But last episode we talked, and I was still concerned. I'm still concerned over the direction and the Disney, the Star Wars skins. I see them in the game, and I'm still just like, I don't know. There's something about it. It's just too big of an IP just placed in the game, and which is bizarre to say that like the Ghostbusters thing was in, but just the car as a ship. There's a fucking stormtrooper straight up in the game now, right? There's something about it that still gets me weird. However, this season, after a week of playing, Heresy has been great. I took last season off of Destiny. This is now the last season before the next expansion that we know zero about. So going back, it has been nice. The new seasonal mode is basically a roguelite. You go into the Dreadnought, into the Nether. There's 3 sets of activities to do that, or 2 sets, 2 sets of 3, and then you get a boss, and then boom, there's your activity, and you get loot. Simple, fun. There's no health regen in this mode, which is not something that Destiny has done a ton, but you have to use abilities and whatnot to do it. To heal, you got to pick up orbs from enemies, so you actually got to play a little differently than normal, because all of a sudden your revives are gone if you don't. I will say I loaded into that activity Wednesday after it dropped. I spent 2 hours doing 2 runs by myself before I realized this was supposed to be a matchmake activity. I accidentally selected the private mode, and I thought this boss was the most just awfully designed thing. I was like, this is dumb. How is this? If I'm a new player who hasn't played in a couple seasons and I'm coming back, this is awful. And then I realized, oh shit. I've made it my life so much harder trying to solo this activity without realizing it. That you're not supposed to. Once you team up, it's a lot easier and a lot more fun. So story-wise, great. I'm back to watching lore videos because the stuff that's going on this season is very interesting. And again, all 3 seasons narratively have pointed to something awesome. In the next expansions, Codename Frontier, Apollo, and Behemoth. Apollo, that's the moon mission. We're leaving the solar system. We are getting on this giant dreadnought, which we have to remove anchors. That dreadnought has anchors in place on different planets, and we have to remove the anchors. What do anchors do? They hold ships in place. We're leaving the solar system. So, hey, am I injecting a lot? Yes, I am, but I'm having a good time being back in Destiny, and hey, it's a game that can always get me back with one cool season and one good story beat, and so far, it's interesting. They're going back to weekly cadences. I think that is better, but we'll see how long I keep playing.
Was this the one? I know we talked about it last week. Was this the one, or is the Apollo that's doing the roguelike thing that they were talking about?
Well, this mode is pretty much a roguelike mode. So last week we said it was in Apollo, right? That was the rumors, but this is essentially you go in solo or with up to 2 people, so 3 total fire team, and then you don't get health, but each time you can go and you defeat an enemy, either a powerful enemy or complete that activity in that area, and you get an opportunity to pick one of 3 orbs. 2 of them will have just straight up buffs, like sliding will give you a solar wave that shoots out in front of you, or a stasis wave or whatnot. Other ones are like your finisher and you'll get a healing boost. But then the third option, there'll always be one, will have boon, something that buffs you, but also at the same time it will negate something. So you do more damage with one weapon, it will take up your super energy. So again, you're getting different abilities to add on to your kit already, and there's multiple of those throughout the run. So they're testing this roguelite idea, right? Each run technically becomes different. Some runs I have a solar wave when I slide, sometimes I don't. And yeah, so I don't know what that rumor was, if it was referencing this, but the gameplay is fun. Like I said, the idea sounds fine. It sounds cool. It's just, what is the reason? What are you asking me as a player in Destiny to do? And if the payoff isn't there, you lose the community, which has happened with Destiny up and down. But yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I pulled up here their sort of roadmap, and yeah, this heresy looks like it's supposed to go through May at least, with Apollo dropping in June. So,
which is where Final Shape dropped, so it kind of fits. I mean, yeah, I just don't know what this is gonna be. Like I said, I dropped the little story bits there where they've been hinting at leaving the solar system, and if Bungie can come out and Apollo is in a totally different solar system with new planets, holy shit. Whoa. I don't know what you do with Destiny 2, but can you go back and forth? Like, just add new areas that just aren't, we're on this area of Earth, or hey, we're here. This was in Destiny 1. You didn't fool me. You didn't do anything except bring it back. Like, love what you did. You added a lot to the Dreadnought, but you just also, it's something that you took away and now are putting back. So I hope Apollo is them adding new as opposed to just adding the old back and calling it new. I just want something new for Destiny.
So yeah, because I remember was it when Destiny 2 launched where they started like vaulting old content just straight out?
All right, so Destiny 1 to Destiny 2, everything got wiped. Destiny 2, the tower got destroyed and all your vault, all your weapons, gone. Dunzo, everyone started fresh for Destiny 2. Halfway through Destiny 2, they had the Destiny content vault, which removed stuff from the game because it was getting too weighty and too bloated to manage, which I do believe is like a big part of it. Is they're saying it's hard to update when you change one thing and it affects something from like 12 or like 5 years ago, that expansion. It was hard to manage, they were saying. So that's when they started vaulting a bunch of stuff. Like, you cannot play the original Destiny 2 campaign, the Red War. It's unplayable. There's no way to go back right now and play through that story, which is just an awful, awful thing. Not that it's an amazing story, but you just can't play Destiny 1 to present day at all. There's no way to play it currently because they vaulted some of their content. And then now they're just slowly putting it back out.
That's wild. They're not the only ones now. Like, since that's happened, with me jumping back into Smite 2 recently, they're kind of doing the same thing where, hey, everything you bought in the first game, that's gone. You don't get to keep your skins, don't get to keep your characters, don't get to keep profile stuff. Like, we're starting square one again. Tough shit. Which, for them, it's partially because it's an engine change fully, so they're redoing all the characters from the ground up. So not everyone's there at the point where Smite 2 is now. But with them even trying to do what they're doing and like, hey, we're going to keep supporting the original game, we're not forcing you to come over to the second one, they just got hit with like 80 layoffs this week and the studio's down to like 100 people. And now they've announced fully that they're like ceasing development on the first game, and the last people there are working solely on Smite 2. So even that original promise of, we're not forcing you to come over, you kind of force you to come over now because Smite 1's dead. Like,
yeah, which is all, it sucks, but it is the life of a game, and this is why you shouldn't promise to always support something forever, because stuff does happen, and that's just not foreseeable. Fortnite will eventually end as well. Like, it's just not foreseeable to have stuff go forever, and it's still fascinating how long, going back to Destiny, how long Destiny has been going and how it's still going. You know, this 10-year saga. Like, we are having a 10-year game. We just made Halo. Here we go. It's Destiny. They're still around. They capped it off well, and we're about to jump off on a new saga. And what they're laying down, dude, the winnower is here. The winnower is real. Are we the gardener? Is the ball in the sky the gardener? Man, I just don't know. Is the ball in the sky an egg, and the gardener will hatch and meet the winnower? These are real words in this game, and I love it.
plot twist. Everything you just described is Bungie placing the seeds to introduce Marathon. Marathon's just Destiny 3, essentially.
Okay, but if a ship arrives from a far distant thing and it's Marathon people, and they're like, hey, we're in the same universe, it's like, hell yeah. And then Marathon's own game, they're not the same game at all, but man, a lot of Exodus ships left from Earth when the darkness took over. A lot of them crashed, but some are still missing. And that whole civilization, that whole ship could still end up being Marathon. That's it.
Oh my god. Hear me out. All these ships left, as you said. Summer showcase time comes around. Master Chief Collection's coming to PlayStation. You know, one of those ships that left was one of the UNSC ships. Master Chief's coming in.
If only, but also they both start on Earth, so it doesn't make sense. Sorry to burst your bubble there. I don't know what planet Marathon takes on. They could be in a whole other Alpha Centauri. We haven't left Sol in Destiny, so
say they're just going like full Smash Bros in Destiny now. Everyone's here.
They're making a Smash Bros clone. We're just gonna get a bunch of Destiny and Halo characters fighting. Can you imagine if that's what it was?
Perfect.
Like an IP hero shooter from Bungie with like PlayStation IP. Okay, hold on. Someone clip that and send that to me so I can just have that in my back pocket if that is the announcement.
You gotta sell it. Put that. You can have that for free.
Yeah, because no one's gonna buy it.
Well, we are a little over a week from Avowed. finally dropping onto our platform of choice, Kyle. You said how ready are you? Are you planning on rolling credits? Are you planning on?
Oh yeah, I'm planning on playing. I'm not gonna do the premium edition. Just I don't have $22 to spend to play 5 days early. Xbox, get over yourselves. I don't like that system. Give me some DLC at least. There's no DLC in this one. I am planning on being there day one. I am excited for this type of game. I love the Outer Worlds scope. I thought it didn't overstay its welcome. It left me feeling good and wanting to come back because I wasn't overburdened by how long the game was. Games are too long. So I'm hoping this is, they said it's similar scope, a little bigger. Yeah, I'm just excited for this. I think being in the Pillars of Eternity world as well, gives them, they don't have to do as much work of like creating the world. It's already there. They just get to now create a setting that they are in, within this bigger world. And that's, they have stuff to pull on. There's going to be depth there. People seem to love that universe. So I'm down to learn more about it. The team at Obsidian has released some YouTube shorts about the world as a whole. There's like 3 or 4 videos so far on their channel, and that's been interesting to learn the different factions and the different characters and creatures and realms and areas you're going to travel to. And it's set the scene up well. I'm ready to play it. I think this is, I hope this hits, I really do hope it hits, because I just want an RPG that makes me make decisions that matter. Starfield dropped the ball there, but Obsidian and Outer Worlds, I felt like that was a thing. I felt like my decisions did matter, even though the context sometimes was a little goofy. So I'm feeling very hopeful about this game.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's gonna be interesting coming off, not immediately off the heels of, but with Dragon Age being sort of the last big thing we touched for 2024, their fantasy setting, fantasy class types, combat, whatever, jumping into this, how different we're gonna play that. Because visually, again, I look at Avowed, I'm like, I want to be a magic class. It looks cool, but I don't want to be burned again like I was in Dragon Age. So I'm almost like, do I go with the fighter? Do I go with the melee? Do I go with the rain? Like,
dude, what? You get a sword in one hand and a wand in the other. You get both. Or you can have a pistol and a wand, or double wand it. Like, you can do whatever you want with that.
it'll be curious to hear how we feel after we play and how different our reactions are from this to Dragon Age. But it is, I mean, this is the first sort of bullet in the chamber for Xbox going in the rest of the year. Because we get this, we get January, March off, and then April again. Immediate releases, and I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to get my like Dead Rising done. I want this out of the way. Go into the 18th with Avowed. Nothing else on my plate. Let me focus solely on this. Roll credits, hopefully faster than I did Outer Worlds, and hopefully enjoy it a little more. We talked about before, Outer Worlds didn't quite hit for me, and this being similar gameplay world wise has me kind of but I hope the fantasy setting usually does more for me than sci-fi, so hopefully that'll be enough to fully bring me in. But it feels good. I remember when Avowed was first revealed, like that first teaser trailer, 2021, and just kind of the ups and downs it's had since, because that first teaser trailer was like hyper realistic, like dark gritty thing, and then it came back 2-3 years later and hey, we're super cartoony now, and this is what we're doing, but still looks good. Like, how much that people remember or even care about.
Yeah, hey, here's the thing. I think in the next 5 years, we're going to get less super realistic games. They'll still be there, but there will be like a showcase as opposed to something like Hellblade, the Senua's, right? That was definitely in part showing off what the tech can do for Hellblade 2. But yeah, I just think more games are going to not do that because of the cost, the time, and the resources it takes. And not even just physical resources, but resources on your code to run the game on consoles or PC, wherever you're playing it. Like, to get those realistic graphics, it takes a lot, and I don't think the payoff has been there. We've seen that in this industry. The payoff is not there. So please give me a great stylized art direction as opposed to realism. This has a sense of realism to it, but it's stylized, right? And that's what I need, right? Some people will complain that it looks a little goofy and silly. It's a damn video game. It doesn't, I can go watch a movie made by some of the top cameras if I want that. Like, yeah, there's if it's bad, it's bad. But if it ain't bad, why are you complaining? So I don't find issue with the game design. It's a game. I'd rather them throw in more systems that. Oh God, that face. Oh, sorry, on the stream. uh, that threw me off. That's so funny. What a face that was. See, like that's funny. I'm okay with it. I don't need perfection. I like the goofy silliness of stuff. I think Avowed can do that and give me more systems that are fine-tuned and run well as opposed to pretty graphics. Also, just the lighting can change so much. Like you look at Starfield's lighting, like you get close to textures, sometimes not great, but the lighting is what really sells it, I think. That's kind of where my opinion is heading with stuff. So yeah, this looks good. It looks great. And guess what? If the story is there, you're not gonna notice a lot of. You're gonna get lost in it. That's what it is. So I can't wait. I'm trying not. I don't want to end up just doing sword and shield. I do want to mess with the wands a little bit. I think that's cool, but magics and such. But we'll see. I just hope there's tough decisions.
Not even tough, but if they are tough, to actually have backlash on them.
I guess that's what makes makes it tough. You know, there's going to be backlash, but if I can just make a decision and know nothing's going to happen, easy decision. So I just want them to have consequences. That's a better way of saying it.
I'm looking at you, Starfield Shattered Space.
100%, right? There's a whole genocide supposed to be happening in my playthrough of Starfield. I haven't seen anyone from Varun Kai take over the settled systems.
Yeah, if it's not in this, I'm curious if this past week, 6 days ago, Adam City and John Gonzalez returned to the studio, who was one of the lead writers for Fallout New Vegas. Just seemingly came back. So even if it's not in Avowed, with the wording that Phil used of other studios looking at IP, if Obsidian gets another chance at Fallout IP, New Vegas fans would be very, very happy. It was explicitly said it's not for Fallout New Vegas 2, but it could
just be Fallout Old Vegas.
It could be Fallout Old Vegas. Could be Fallout 5. It could be Fallout New Orleans, which everyone has wanted for a super long time. So
Fallout London, which would be fucked up because they have that big mod.
Hey, thanks for doing this. Thanks for doing this work. We're gonna steal a bunch of this.
Yeah. Hey, maybe Obsidian would do. I've joked about Larian getting the nod to take over a Fallout 6 game. What if Obsidian did a different type of style of gameplay and just gave us that? That's how they go back to Fallout, is a different take on it, and that's how Todd Howard lets it go. He's like, all right, yeah, you can do something different. Don't make a Bethesda clone, but Obsidian, you know, they're different.
Be interesting. Be interesting. With that, though, Kyle, I'm running a little short this week, but that's okay. Since you got other things you need to bring up real fast. Want to look at that face on Avowed again?
No, I don't got anything else.
Yeah.
Not this week.
So it was kind of a quiet week. Thankfully, we had some cool games to talk about and show off. Be back next week, regular scheduled time. Hopefully, maybe with some state of play reactions, if that actually happens this week. My end should hopefully have review for Necrodancer posted fully by tomorrow, if not Wednesday. Need to get that finalized. As I said, I did finally roll credits yesterday. Just want to do a little more in the community aspect side of things to check that out more. If you're watching a video, we did not mention this time. We mentioned in the first go around, Kyle doing a killer job with new layouts on the show. We're all bright and colorful over here. Fun new transitions. Everything looks super clean. A little less empty space for y'all to check out on the YouTube.
Ooh.
Kyle, what do you got on your side? Watch wrestling tonight?
Yeah, wrestling, and then yeah, we're gonna be playing more Marvel Rivals and such, and Destiny. So, but yeah, Destiny isn't. I don't like streaming that game. People don't watch.
We gotta get a Marvel Rival squad going. Like we gotta get Kenny back in here. Kenny plays. We gotta get a group.
Yeah, I know Kenny plays. I hopped into one Jim Tasty. He was playing, and I was like, I'll help you. I'll play. So I got a couple rounds, and it's been a week. I haven't been on in a while, honestly. So it was like I was not good last night. Really bad, but. Yeah, we got to get a crew. I do also want to say this on the thing. We're gonna hop into the new Sea of Thieves thing, at least for a night.
I was just about to mention this.
At least for a night, we'll do it. But hopefully, we can get a couple nights in and have some fun with whatever the new stuff is. I know they announced something, and you were like, "Cool." So I was like, "Hey, let's plan on it."
So I haven't even looked at it. Comes, I believe it's out on the 15th this week sometime. I'll look as I'm talking.
I got it.
I've been behind on what their updates are. Again, I've been out for like 2 seasons now, just other stuff. But they posted a photo of a character riding on the back of a megalodon, and I was like, "Can you excuse me? If I can start taking over wildlife like that?" And I commented on it, and someone commented under me, was like, "Oh yeah, this next update is like entirely Hunter's Call themed, which is their sort of fishing company, go get rare fish, hunt megalodons, do all like animal themed stuff, which is all I do in the game anymore because I don't want to do anything else. I just go and fish. One of these times I'll get the last achievement I need. February 20th. And so next week. Right
I just found it.
But yeah, if I could ride on a megalodon, holy shit, I'm in. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Oh yeah. I just got to their blog post. Yeah, it's all that themed here. Be fun. I'll fight a megalodon. I don't know what it is, but
it's a giant shark thing. Really cool.
I'm gonna ride it like a sandworm.
Exactly.
Like Timmy Shao.
Underwater sandworm, and then there's too much happening and your console crashes.
Hey, the only console that's crashed is my Series S running Starfield before I don't know when it's crashed a couple times.
God. So yeah, have that next week too. Then I was going to mention, I was like, if Kyle sticks to his word, we're playing some Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, no, I'll download it later. We got a couple days, but yeah, we'll hop in for the new stuff at least once or twice.
Sick. Okay. Till next time, not 7 days from now, on Sunday, I guess, 6 days from now, 2 in 1 week. We'll catch y'all next time. Happy gaming. Hope y'all stay safe. Ready for Avowed. A lot of cool things coming.